Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. My name is Tess. Today's video we're going to do this look and a couple more looks using the Hudabeauty Empower palette. This palette just showed up at my door today. I was not expecting Huda to send me anything, but yeah, we are going to chat about this palette and use it and give you guys some of my first impression. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, you guys, hi. Let's go ahead and create maybe a look or two with this palette. This palette, honestly, like holding it, it has some nice weight to it. And it kind of reminds me of a picture frame. I feel like the material might be some sort of metal and it actually looks really luxe. I enjoy the packaging a lot. And when you open it, it has a really nice size mirror. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I gotta say, it looks so much prettier in person. There seems to be a lot of different textures to play with. I'm pleasantly surprised they sent this one to me, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be biased. If you have seen my other Huda Beauty review, I always tell you guys how I feel about a palette, like the last one that we did. I'll link you guys to it so you guys can check that one out as well. I am excited to play. It's been a minute since we sit down, do a full-on tutorial, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, let's quickly prime the eyes. I am using the Item Beauty Air Hug concealer. It's actually a nice concealer, provides quite a bit of a coverage. It blends out quite nice, right? Okay, now I'm ready. So I really want to try out the shade Courageous. It looks like a really gorgeous, like kind of like a dual chrome type, like a bronze, purple to some type of burgundy as well. It's a gorgeous like dual chrome shade. I'm very excited to use it. Let's go ahead and, you know, apply it at the outer V, just like so. Kind of want to see what you can do with all the shimmer in this palette. Whatever is on my finger, I'm going to pat it. Yeah, that kind of gives a better distribution in the brush. It's definitely a black base, dual chrome type of shade. Okay, I kind of want to try out the shade Manifested. It's like that cream metallic shadow in the palette. I don't know, let's see. I'm just gonna tug it in the inner portion of the eyes. Alright, the next shade I really want to use is this gorgeous gold shade called Charisma. I do want to use my finger, but my nails. Ooh, this is so gorgeous. Okay, there is no glitter primer or anything. I am just going straight in. Wow, that is some shine, okay? Wow. I do feel like the shade can be a little flaky as well, so maybe to apply like a glitter primer is a good call. But I just really wanted to see how it works when you apply it like dry. Wow, that is whew, gorgeous. Continue the shade Courageous just on the outer V. I like that the shimmer is like actually pretty deep, almost like a really deep black base plum shade. Dual chrome. Okay, I'm adding a little bit back on the outer V because we definitely have lost a little bit of that pigment. Okay, I want to try out the shade called Do It, this bronze on the lower lash line. Just see. These are quite foil looking. I feel like this shade and this shade are kind of close. Let me swatch it for you. This and this. Manifest it, and yeah, they're kind of a similar tone, so I don't know if it's necessary to include them both, you know? Right? Don't you feel like these two are pretty similar? Yeah, I feel like one thing about this palette, it seems to have a lot of like repetitive tones. Just one lighter and one deeper. Look at these corner. They're basically different shades of oranges, right? Anywho, I think for the inner part of the inner corner, that's, I don't know, try this shade called Visionary. This shade. And see if we can see a lot of different tones. If the tones are the same. A little bit, there's like a hint of rose gold in there, which is quite pretty actually. Can you guys tell? Okay, so I switch up a lens because I feel like this lens is getting my camera fell, and something happened to this lens, like I have trouble focusing now. Anyways, I do really feel like the shade at the inner corner. Alright, these three shades just a little too close. I don't think it's that necessary to include these three shades. Don't you feel like they're a little too close? This one has a little bit more rose gold, but I do feel like the shade Do It and Manifest It are like a little too close to being here. But I mean, you can see a little bit of a difference. This is the shade Visionary. And this is the shade Do It. And I kind of cover up Manifest It underneath. But I thought it's worth mentioning because these are honestly like kind of a little too close to each other to be in the same palette, just in my opinion. I think I'm going to try Limitless, this really foil gold flakes. And I think I want to kind of apply that high up here. Whew! That shade is, wow, foil on crack. Wow. I'm gonna put on some lash and come back, show you guys the first look. Okay, so this is the finished first look with some lash. I don't know, I'm not like obsessed. I mean, the shine on these foil shades are really unreal. But my only issue with this is like I feel like all the metallic shades, they're just too close to each other to be able to kind of differentiate. They all end up looking like the same shade. I don't know. You guys can let me know your thoughts. Not in love with this look, but I do just want to try out all the shimmers for you guys so you guys can kind of get an idea, and just giving you guys some of my first impression. And yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so I don't know. I wasn't feeling the look that I just did. It was weird. I don't know what's going on, but let's try it again. I'm thinking about doing something maybe a little bit graphic. Something I have done on my Instagram. I am just going to the shade Confident. Shade. One thing about this palette, I do feel like there are too many like similar tones in this palette to be able to create like a lot of variety of different looks, just because the shades are honestly so similar and kind of repetitive in my opinion. I don't know what's wrong, like the black cream shade, I was not really feeling it. It was kind of takes a lot to build it up, so I don't know what's up with that. It's weird, and I didn't like the look. I didn't like the look I created so far, so maybe it's an off day for me. I don't know. All right, now I'm taking the cream Worthy, and you see Worthy and the shade are kind of close as well. That's what I'm talking about. I just feel like there's so many like repetitive tones. in this palette. So I wouldn't say if these are the tones that you don't really reach for, obviously skip this palette. But if these are your everyday tones, your like dream colors, right, in a palette, definitely give it a go. But if you already have these type of tones, I kind of don't feel like you absolutely need to go out of your way to buy it. I mean, at least for me, I know I probably, if this is not sent to me, I wouldn't go out of my way, just because these are not something that I use every day. So I'm sort of just creating this graphic type of a look, and I'm taking the shade Worthy. This shade actually has it's a bit more cool tone, so I like that about this shade Worthy. I'm just kind of creating like a lower lash smudge. Okay, I'm going to set everything down. I'm going into the shade Confidence, just this shade. I don't want this look to be too complicated, but I'm just, for now, I'm tracing the shade with Confidence. Just over it, like that. And I kind of want to do, I'm taking the shade Winner, and I'm going to kind of smoke out the lower lash line. You know, I have not used like a matte eyeshadow in a hot minute, and I kind of wonder if I can still do makeup. It's like I have not used it in a while, and I'm like, do I know how to blend eyeshadow? You know? Okay. Just softly, lightly blend things out a little. Alright, so for this look, I really want to try this shade called Big Moves. It's probably the only metallic shade that's more cool tone, so I wanted to see what we can get out of this shade called Bold Moves. I'm just gonna pat Bold Moves like all over. I'm not using, yeah, it's kind of like one of those kind of creamy type. You can see the eyeshadow is like moving around like that. Yeah, it's kind of like bouncy type of a metallic shadow. Just going to pack it on. It's kind of crumbly as well. Definitely kind of chunky. Maybe using my hand will be easier than this packing brush. But I was just trying to see if I was able to kind of do that, or I'm just gonna go in with my finger and apply like this. Might be a little fast, right? Okay, you guys, I am back. This is the finished full face for today. I'll list everything else down in the description if you are interested in knowing what I'm wearing. And I also saw some cool tone options from the last palette, Rose Quartz. And I was looking at this shade and this shade, right? It's kind of similar of a vibe, so I swatch it out. And I also want to swatch this shade called Self Love. Let me swatch it out for you. It's a little different. Okay, so this is the shade Self Love from Rose Quartz. And this is the shade that's all over my eyelid from Empower. And this is the shade from Rose Quartz palette. This is from Empower, and this is from Rose Quartz. Again, I feel like the mattes are kind of similar They're both cool tone, dark brown. I like how this look turned out. I enjoyed it, but if it's up to me, I probably honestly can create the same look with other palettes that I already own. Again, I do enjoy the shimmer shadows. My only thing with this palette is it kind of reminds me of this ColourPop palette, the Lucky Penny, in the sense that it's all pretty like mid-tone. It's only like mid-tone colors to like deeper colors. There's no super duper light, brighter like shimmer or brighter mattes. And like I mentioned before, tones are just a little bit too close to be a 18 pen palette. I think this will be a really beautiful 9 pen palette. I don't think it necessarily needs to be a 18 pen. Again, like the color story itself doesn't really call out to me. Looking at it in person, it's a pretty palette, but I am still a little just kind of turned off by 5 shades of orangey mattes. They all look pretty much the same. On my skin tone at least, like they're all gonna blend out in a similar tone, if you know what I'm trying to say. Again, if this tones call out to you, by all means go for it, you know, try it out, you might really enjoy it. For me personally, I just feel like the tones are a little too repetitive, and I don't know why, like I was struggling a little bit with this palette. I mean, it's supposed to be like a very effortless neutral palette, but for some reason, maybe because I'm not that creative today, so I feel like I am struggling to create looks like I'm like in love with. I mean, I like this look, but I'm not like, oh my god, obsessed. I can only create this look with the palette. The shimmers are absolutely gorgeous, but I don't know, I'm kind of okay about this palette. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I really love to hear from you. If these tones are calling to you, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. It's a really pretty like fall tone palette, but just the color itself is a little repetitive, especially amongst the shimmer shades. I will hope there are at least like two shimmery shades can be like a different pop of metallic. It could just very well be a personal preference thing. Thank you Huda for sending this over, and I really hope that some of the swatches help you guys out. And I'm just here to give you guys some of my first impression. If I'm ever wanting a gold, I probably just come back for the gold and shimmer shades. The mattes perform. The cream shadow, it's okay. It's not like the best cream shadow I've ever used. It's alright. So yeah, that's some of my first impression upon using this palette. I like it, but I'm not obsessed with it. And maybe I'm just struggling a little bit creatively today. That could be why. But anywho, I really hope that you guys find this video helpful. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys like this look that I created today. I definitely struggled on the second look. I really didn't like how it turned out. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's little quick first impression on the Huda Beauty Empower palette. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have not subscribed, I'd really love for you to subscribe. Join the fam, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.